So what are some common challenges that flat roofs and people, living under flat roofs face in some of these condos and HOA commercial properties?
Um, they're very susceptible, obviously, to foot traffic. You don't walk on slope roofs as much. Most of the debris sheds off of them. There's not so many penetrations to reinforce, but when you're putting a lot of stuff on the roof, there's a lot more vendors and services to be had up there, from lightning rod assemblies to HVAC units, in heat stacks, stuff like that, grease stacks that come out of restaurants. So if you have any kind of a restaurant on there and you have a roof vent over it, tends to have the grease come out on top of the roof as well. So that's foot traffic and equipment damage is what I'm trying to talk about. Heat stacks that can actually um, burn the surrounding material. Anything that has chemicals on it, chemicals, on the commercial side of things, there's certain types of roof membranes that work better in high chemical and acidic environments. And the biggest one of all of them, really, and is always a concern, is ponding water. You don't have slope, you're not shedding water. So especially down Southeast Florida, we get a lot of water really fast. It dumps down. So maintaining that drainage, a positive drainage, is anything that flashes off within 48 hours. So if it's still on the roof after that, I mean, in dry conditions and premium dry conditions, then it constitutes ponding water. And not all membranes are warranted under ponding water. They're not designed to withstand ponding water. Some of them are. So you have to know what your substrates are, what your options are. Every situation is different. So those are all things you definitely need to take into consideration, and HOAs need to know that. I mean, that's why we're having this discussion, because you have all this going on. It's out of sight, out of mind. On slope roof, you really don't have much to worry about. But anywhere where you have slope running into a flat, like on your back porches in a lot of these multi-residential facilities, homes and communities, and they're out of sight, out of mind, and they don't realize how much is actually sitting on that roof and damaging the roof. So it's all stuff they got to maintain and keep an eye on.
Yeah, sure. That's so true, especially if people are trying to like make a livable, usable space out of it too. Never know.
Yeah, and a lot of it, a lot of things. Since I just wanted to add randomly, it's not so random though. It just came to mind. I didn't have a note on it, but knowing it's a challenge to know residents, know enough about the roofing to even know what you really need. Like modified bitumen cap sheets, granulated cap sheets. The granules in manufacturer's warranty are considered a maintenance item. Okay, that's why the roof coatings come into play, because those granular surfaces typically do not live as long as the warranty. So it's the responsibility of the building owner to maintain the community when they decide to go that route. Need to understand that. They need to know that, hey, about 10 years down the line, we're going to be paying for a coating. It may be a less expensive option now, but it is a real durable option. So you put a silicone coating on a modified bitumen down here in Southeast Florida, it's a pretty solid system versus a single ply. But you have to catch it in time, just like anything. If you don't keep your eyes on it and you forget about it, or changes of boards and changes of priorities in the community, as board changes and property managers change, a lot gets left behind.
Absolutely. Totally. Okay, so you kind of touched on this a little bit, but why is regular maintenance so crucial for flat roofs? And maybe what is that regular maintenance that needs to be done?
Yeah, a lot of the warranties don't, flat roofs always have to be tied into something pretty much. Very
Yeah.
rarely is it just the roof and nothing else it's touching. It's not just going off the edges and going into a wall. I mean, this tied into other walls up there, all types of equipment, and they're all types of equipment. So different adhesives stick to different types of substrates, right? So if you have a stucco wall, or if you have a brick wall, or if you have stainless steel jack stands or brackets of any time, or you have, you know, rusting lead pipes. These types of things require different sealants, and not all sealants are covered under warranty either. You have to maintain that's why maintenance is required in a lot of the manufacturer's warranties. And why people buy roof systems and don't realize this, it's really amazing how many people don't know that. You can't buy a car and not get not do the oil changes. I mean, you're going to void your warranty, right? I mean, you don't just drive it for 100,000 miles and never change the oil. Same thing with your roof system. And I know we beat this over the head in the industry over and over and over time, but somebody's listening to this right now that's never really even thought of it that way.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to have the conversation. Like I said, different types of membranes have different types of things covering their warranties. And also, if you made a modification to a space and they put in a restaurant or, a vent stack on your TPO system that is not designed to hold up to grease and chemical like a PVC or an alloy. So that can be a problem. So you have to kind of prepare for that. Even your modified bitumens can be chewed up pretty bad by grease. Silicone can help prevent that, but if the modified's already got the grease in it, the silicone's not going to stick to it. So all these things that's why and like I just said it too about the changing of management, changing of boards. Priorities change. People's different levels of experience come into communities all the time.
If your roof needs answers, subscribe now to the AskARoofer podcast. We've got your questions covered, one episode at a time. Go to AskARoofer.com to submit your questions and learn more. Stay tuned and keep those questions coming.